She lit up every scene she touched. From gritty, post-apocalyptic landscapes to primetime medical dramas. Kelley Mack wasn't just an actress, she was a quiet force, a radiant presence that left an unforgettable mark. But now, that light has gone dark. At just 33 years old, Kelley Mack, known to millions as Addy from The Walking Dead, has passed away. And while the headlines say she died peacefully in her hometown, what they don't capture is everything she gave before that final breath. The courage. The silence. The battle she never made public. Because behind the smile that fans adored was a woman quietly facing something most of us couldn't imagine, a rare and devastating illness, far away from the cameras, away from the spotlight she once called home. And today, we're telling her story. Not just the roles. Not just the fame. But the heartbreak, the strength, and the legacy she left behind. Because Kelley Mack wasn't just another name on a credit list. She was someone who mattered deeply. And once you hear everything she endured, you'll understand why the world is mourning, and why we should never forget her. Let's begin. The news hit like a whisper wrapped in thunder, soft, but impossible to ignore. On a quiet Saturday in her hometown of Cincinnati, Kelley Mack, born Kelley Clebano, passed away after a private, excruciating battle with glioma of the central nervous system. She was just 33 years old. There was no media frenzy. No paparazzi crowding hospital doors. Instead, the heartbreaking announcement appeared on a website called Caringbridge, where friends and family had been quietly documenting her journey. It was raw. Honest. And it broke hearts. The statement read, "It is with indelible sadness that we are announcing the passing of our dear Kelley. Such a bright, fervent light has transitioned to the beyond, where we all eventually must go." Later that week, her official Instagram page posted the same message, paired with a hauntingly beautiful image, Kelley, radiant, smiling, as if untouched by the storm that had quietly stolen her life. But make no mistake, this wasn't just the end of a battle. It was the closing chapter of a story most people didn't even know was being written. Because while fans remembered her face, her characters, her energy, few knew she had been slowly, painfully fading from the spotlight. And even fewer knew why. But those closest to her? They saw it coming. And they never stopped holding on. Actress Alana Masterson, who shared scenes with Kelley on The Walking Dead, wrote a message that cracked the internet open. "What an incredible human. So proud to have fought alongside her in our final episode together." Others called her a sweet soul, a true light, the one who made the hard days feel easier. The comments weren't for a celebrity. They were for someone real. Someone who left an imprint far deeper than the screen ever could. But the world still had questions. Why had Kelley disappeared so suddenly? Where had she gone? And what, exactly, had she been fighting? The answers would begin with a role that changed everything. Before the tears, before the tributes, before the silence, Kelley Mack was Addy. In the bleak, violent, and emotionally raw world of The Walking Dead, where characters came and went like passing storms, Addy stood out. Not because she was the loudest. Not because she lasted the longest. But because she felt real. Introduced in Season 9, Addy was part of the teen group living at Hilltop. She was brave, skeptical, sharp-eyed. But what made her unforgettable wasn't just her lines, it was the quiet strength Kelley brought to her. The way she looked at danger like she'd already survived worse. The way her voice trembled just enough to let you know she wasn't acting, she was channeling something deeper. For fans, Addy was more than just a supporting character. She was the emotional anchor in a sea of chaos. And when her character met a tragic end, captured and killed by the Whisperers, viewers didn't just flinch, they grieved. And so did the cast. Alana Masterson, who played Tara Chandler, posted a raw message after Kelley's death, remembering their final scenes together. "What an incredible human. So proud to have fought alongside her in our final episode together. It wasn't about a fight scene. It was about the bond, the unspoken connection between actors who know they're telling something real, something that will stay with people long after the credits roll." But here's the part most people never knew. The Walking Dead wasn't just Kelley's breakout. It was her victory lap. Because by the time she joined the show, she had already been pushing uphill for years, scraping her way through auditions, late-night rewrites, and indie projects no one ever saw. Addy wasn't handed to her. She earned it. And when she got that call, when she found out she'd be joining one of the most iconic TV franchises of the last decade, Kelley didn't post a braggy caption or throw a party. She quietly thanked her team. And got to work. No drama. No ego. Just focus. Because that's who Kelley Mack was. And The Walking Dead was just the beginning. Long before the lights, the sets, and the scripts, there was a little girl with a camera. Not a fancy one. Just a mini handheld camcorder, gifted to her on a birthday she never forgot. That moment, simple, quiet, innocent, sparked something in Kelley Mack that would shape the rest of her life. She didn't dream of red carpets or flashing lights. She dreamed of stories. While other kids played house or tag, Kelley was directing, recording, editing her own makeshift movies. She would rope in her siblings, her friends, even her family dog, anyone who would stand still long enough to be part of her vision. And when the camera stopped rolling, she'd be in front of it too. Because Kelley didn't just want to create stories. She wanted to live them. That early passion led her into the world of commercials. Before she was old enough to drive, she was already appearing in national ads for companies like Dr. Pepper, Dairy Queen, Chick-fil-A, and Ross. Her face was becoming familiar, but it wasn't about fame for her. It was about practice. About precision. About doing something right. Her talent was obvious, but she didn't take shortcuts. After graduating from Hinsdale Central High School, Kelley made a decision that would change everything. She enrolled at Chapman University's Dodge College of Film and Media Arts in California. Not to become a star, but to understand the craft. She wanted to learn cinematography, how to frame a shot, how to capture emotion through a lens. While other aspiring actresses chased stardom, Kelley studied storytelling. She didn't just memorize lines, she dissected them. She questioned the lighting. She wanted to know what lens was being used. She wanted to know why a character made a choice, not just how to play it. Her professors called her a visionary with humility. Her classmates called her the one who always stayed late. But the world would come to know her as something else, a natural. Because even though she could direct, write, and produce, when the camera turned to her, something magnetic happened. That same girl with the birthday camcorder became the woman you couldn't look away from. And that's when Hollywood began to take notice. By the time Kelley Mack stepped onto a major TV set, she wasn't some overnight success story. She was a quiet storm, prepared, polished, and packed with range. While most people remember her as Addy from The Walking Dead, her career spanned far more than the undead. In fact, Kelley had already built an impressive resume that few fully appreciated until now. Take her role as Penelope Jacobs in Chicago Med, for example. She didn't just show up. She delivered a performance that felt raw, vulnerable, and grounded in reality. The kind of scene that makes you pause and forget you're watching fiction. Kelley had a way of portraying people under pressure without ever overacting. Her expressions said what the words couldn't. Her stillness often spoke louder than dialogue. She went on to appear in Fox hit drama 911, again proving her ability to jump from genre to genre, from horror to medical drama to high-intensity action. Her characters were always different. But her authenticity? That never changed. And yet, for every dramatic role she nailed, there was a whole other side of her career few ever saw. Kelley Mack was also a force in the commercial world. Dr. Pepper, Ross, Dairy Queen, Chick-fil-A, and dozens more. To many, commercials are just filler between shows. But to Kelley, they were opportunities to reach people, to test new characters, to build confidence in front of the camera. Some actors brush off commercial work. Kelley embraced it. She even lent her voice to national campaigns, quietly becoming a sought-after voiceover artist. Her tone, warm, sincere, confident, made brands trust her. And audiences? They listened. Behind the scenes, she wasn't just acting. She was also producing. By age 33, Kelley had 35 acting credits and 5 producer credits to her name. Not bad for someone who started with a birthday camcorder and a dream. She wasn't chasing awards or magazine covers. She was building something real, a body of work that reflected her dedication to storytelling, her obsession with detail, and her complete lack of ego. In an industry often obsessed with image, Kelley Mack was focused on impact. And then, she vanished from the screen. No drama. No announcement. Just silence. Fans noticed. Co-stars noticed. But no one really knew why. Until now. For fans who followed her career, Kelley Mack's sudden absence from television felt strange. One moment, she was everywhere, gracing hit dramas, building momentum, expanding her voiceover work. And then, nothing. No new credits. No updates. No farewell post. Just silence. Now, we know why. Kelley was fighting a war she never made public. A deeply personal, brutal battle against something most of us have never even heard of, glioma of the central nervous system. It's a rare, aggressive form of tumor that attacks the brain and spinal cord, quietly, relentlessly, and often without warning. There's no red carpet for this kind of diagnosis. No dramatic headlines. Just pain, confusion, and time slipping through your fingers. While the public speculated about her hiatus, Kelley was undergoing tests, treatments, and facing the kind of days where simply getting out of bed becomes a victory. But she didn't post hospital photos. She didn't share cryptic tweets. She didn't even tell most of her colleagues. Because Kelley didn't want to be defined by her illness. She wanted to be remembered for her work, not her diagnosis. According to the statement posted on CaringBridge, she passed away peacefully in her hometown of Cincinnati. But make no mistake, what she endured was far from peaceful. Glioma doesn't just affect the body. It clouds your thoughts, shifts your memories, and forces you to live inside your own mind even as it starts to betray you. It's an illness that steals slowly and cruelly. Yet even through the pain, Kelley remained the same at her core. Warm. Quietly courageous. Committed to protecting the people she loved from worry. Her family, friends, and partner Logan stood by her, closely guarding the secret of what she was going through, honoring her wishes to keep her suffering private. And in doing so, they protected her dignity, even as the illness tried to strip it away. What's even more heartbreaking? There were no public fundraisers. No media coverage of her fight. Because Kelley never wanted pity. Only peace. And for a while, she had it, away from the cameras, surrounded by the people who knew her as Kelley Mack, not Kelley Mack the actress. It's easy to forget how fragile success can be. One diagnosis, one tumor, one moment, and everything changes. When the spotlight faded and the script stopped coming, Kelley Mack didn't retreat into bitterness or self-pity. She leaned into love. As her health declined, the world around her grew smaller, but more meaningful. No longer crowded by casting calls, premiere parties, or shoot schedules, Kelley found herself surrounded by something far more sacred: family, loyalty, and the quiet strength of those who truly knew her. Her parents, Kristen and Lindsay Mack, never left her side. Her sister Catherine and brother Parker were more than siblings. They became protectors of her spirit, memory, and laughter during the darkest of days. Her grandparents, Lois and Larry, offered support the way only elders can, with presence, prayer, and perspective. And then, there was Logan Lanier. Not a co-star. Not a colleague. Just a man who loved her completely. Logan wasn't giving statements to the press. He wasn't updating fans. He was simply there, holding her hand through the unbearable, making her laugh when nothing else could. Friends say he was her anchor. Her calm in the storm. The one person who could still make her forget she was sick, even if just for a moment. It's easy to romanticize love stories in Hollywood. But this one? This was real. There were no paparazzi shots. No Instagram-worthy couple posts. Just quiet moments of devotion, behind closed doors. Even as her body weakened, Kelley's soul didn't. She wrote. She painted. She meditated. She connected with old friends over handwritten letters and voice notes. She was known for checking in on people, even when she could barely walk. She made sure others felt seen, even while she was fading. A former co-star described her like this. Kelley didn't just light up a room. She lit up your heart. You didn't even realize how much until she was gone. That's who she was. She never bragged. She never complained. She just lived, intentionally, lovingly, and with more grace than most of us can imagine. And when the time came, she didn't ask for a spectacle. She asked for peace. Her legacy, though, didn't end with her passing. It lives on in the quiet lessons she left behind. That fame is temporary. But kindness? That's forever. That storytelling doesn't need an audience to matter. And that sometimes, the strongest people are the ones who never ask to be seen as strong. Kelley Mack may have only lived 33 years, but the legacy she left behind continues to ripple through the hearts of everyone she touched. Not just as an actress. Not just as Addy from The Walking Dead. But as a force of creative light, quiet, powerful, and unforgettable. Her work didn't scream for attention. It didn't chase headlines or trends. Instead, it whispered the truth through every role she played. Whether she was standing in the ruins of a post-apocalyptic world or delivering a single line in a medical drama, Kelley brought one thing to every performance: honesty. She made you believe. And that's something you can't teach. Even now, fans are revisiting her scenes, reposting clips from The Walking Dead, quoting her dialogue, leaving messages of love and heartbreak under her old interviews. Some are even sharing stories of how her portrayal of Addy helped them through their own personal struggles, proof that even small roles can have enormous impact when played with heart. But her influence wasn't limited to what aired on TV. Behind the scenes, Kelley mentored young artists. She offered free script feedback to student filmmakers. She volunteered with creative outreach programs in Los Angeles, helping underprivileged kids learn how to write, shoot, and edit their own short films. and she never asked for credit. For her, storytelling was never about ego, it was about connection. One of her film school classmates recently posted, "Kelley once told me, I don't care if 5 people see my work or 5 million, if one of them feels something, I've done my job." That's how she lived. That's how she created. In an industry that often values style over substance, Kelley was the opposite. Substance first. Always. And then there's her role as a woman behind the camera. With a degree in cinematography and multiple producer credits, Kelley was building a second act, one where she would shape stories from the other side. She had plans. Big ones. A small production company. A documentary about resilience. A series centered around women who quietly carry the world on their backs. Those dreams were cut short. But the fragments remain. And for the countless artists she inspired, young women, independent filmmakers, commercial actors just starting out, Kelley's story reminds them that success isn't just measured in awards or headlines. It's measured in impact. In the stories you tell. The people you lift up. The truth you leave behind. Kelley Mack left more than a resume. She left a legacy. In a world obsessed with noise, celebrity drama, viral moments, non-stop headlines, Kelley Mack left quietly. No final post. No farewell video. No announcement begging for attention. Just a graceful exit, and a haunting silence that now echoes louder than any spotlight ever could. But in the days since her passing, that silence has been replaced with something powerful: remembrance. Fans across social media have launched tribute threads, sharing scenes from The Walking Dead that now hit differently. They've clipped her lines, reposted interviews, written captions like, "She didn't have the biggest role, but she had the biggest heart. Addy deserved better. So did Kelley." And maybe that's the real heartbreak. Because while Kelley's illness was rare, the story is painfully common: young, talented lives cut short by conditions no one talks about until it's too late. Glioma of the central nervous system isn't just a medical term. It's a silent destroyer. One that steals memory, coordination, identity, often long before it takes a life. And for someone like Kelley, whose gift was expression, movement, storytelling, the cruel irony is unbearable. But here's what it couldn't take: her spirit, her kindness, her legacy. Kelley Mack isn't just another tragedy. She's a reminder. A reminder that not all heroes wear capes, or even lead roles. A reminder that impact isn't measured by screen time. A reminder that quiet strength can be louder than fame. And maybe, just maybe, her death will wake up the industry. To prioritize health over hustle. To protect the artists who give so much and ask so little. To remember that behind every face on a screen is a human being, with dreams, pain, and a story worth hearing. In the end, Kelley didn't need a blockbuster to make a statement. She made one by living on her own terms. And now, even in her absence, she continues to inspire. Because the lights may have dimmed, but the glow she left behind? Still burning. Every so often, someone comes along who doesn't just exist in the entertainment world, they elevate it. Not through fame. Not through controversy. But through quiet power. Presence. Purpose. Kelley Mack was one of those people. Her passing is more than a personal tragedy, it's a moment that makes all of us pause and ask deeper questions. Why do we wait until someone is gone to celebrate what they gave us? Why do so many battles get fought in silence, unseen, unshared, unspoken? And how many more Kelleys are out there right now, pushing through pain behind the curtain, afraid to be seen as weak? Her story teaches us about strength, not the loud, performative kind, but the kind that wakes up every day with pain in the body and peace in the heart. It teaches us about grace, the decision to keep giving, keep creating, keep loving, even when everything hurts. And perhaps most importantly, it teaches us about presence, how one person's energy, compassion, and commitment to truth can echo through time, touching people they never even met. You see, Kelley wasn't a viral headline. She was a quiet revolution. She proved that you don't need to dominate Hollywood to make your mark. You don't need to shout to be heard. And you don't need millions of followers to leave something meaningful behind. She was proof that every story matters. Even the ones we almost missed. So if you've ever felt small, overlooked, or like you're not making an impact, remember Kelley. Remember the girl with the birthday camcorder who told stories that made people feel. Who worked in silence but moved people loudly. Who gave more than she ever asked for. And remember, the real legacy isn't what you leave on the screen. It's what you leave in people's hearts. In the end, there are no red carpets. No cameras. No retakes. Just memories, and the question of what we leave behind. Kelley Mack didn't get the Hollywood ending she deserved. But she left something far more powerful, a human legacy. She was more than Addy from The Walking Dead. More than Penelope Jacobs. More than the commercials, the voiceovers, the film credits. She was a daughter. A sister. A partner. A friend. And through all of it, she remained true to one thing: storytelling with soul. When her name was spoken, it wasn't followed by gossip or scandal. It was followed by words like kind, brilliant, genuine, unforgettable. The people closest to her don't remember the roles first. They remember her warmth. Her weird sense of humor. The way she made everyone feel seen, whether they were a co-star or a crew member hauling cables in the heat. Kelley lived quietly. But her impact? It roars. And maybe that's what makes her story so rare in an industry built on noise. She didn't chase the spotlight. She became it. So today, as the tributes continue to pour in, as fans revisit her scenes, as loved ones hold on to every photo, every voicemail, every memory, let this be the message. Kelley Mack mattered. Not because she was famous, but because she was real. She showed us that you don't need to live forever to live well. You just need to live truthfully. And now, though she's gone, her light remains. In every frame she graced. In every heart she touched. And in every story that dares to reach for something deeper. Rest in power, Kelley. You were never forgotten. And now, you never will be.